coming up with a name for a collective of people of colour, it's really hard to not be cheesy. So we kind of like bounce back some ideas and it's like... and then, so Shagfta and I are both South Asian, and it's kind of nod to the Indian diaspora that kind of ended up in Kenya after partition, and it's Swahili for nest. Nest. So welcome to our nest, where good things happen.
Hi, I'm Shagfta. I'm a writer, I'm a filmmaker, and a workshop facilitator, and the co-founder of Kiota.
It's called Come Back to the World. To recover from heartbreak, bake. Yes, I said bake. To recover from heartache, I said bake. I recommend becoming a 1950s good housekeeping, good housewife. The feminist totally agrees. But finally, bake for yourself. Spend hours in the kitchen creating something from scratch. Let your hands really feel the ingredients that give you sustenance. The ingredients that once gave you joy.
The last Kiota, the conversations we had around it were that artists kept saying that they felt lonely and isolated in their processes, and working in isolation impacted the way in which they were communicating with audiences. So today was very much about focus on collaborative space. So we're really excited to be working with Words of Colour, with Joy Francis and Heather, of course, and we're really excited to have many of our artists coming together and working collaboratively. So it's been a really fun process, from just sharing a stage space and having informal conversations to something much more nuanced in terms of our relationship and much deeper in terms of the conversations we've had and the way in which we've worked from that point onwards. I think it's been really fruitful, and it's been really affirming.
And wear a sari. Wear a sari. So you can remember the curves of your hips, the fold of baloo against your breasts. Make the most of it. They are still standing. So should you be.
What drives you to write and perform poetry? Because not all page poets necessarily perform their poetry.
I feel like poetry is a conversation, and I think if I just wrote it, that really important bit gets lost. And there's something about having a conversation with a live audience that you can't replicate it in any other way. It's such a magical feeling. And even though the audience might be quiet, you can feel or see or have a look at an expression, or someone sat with their eyes closed, and that in itself is something that you are sharing in that moment. So I think that's why I feel the need to share poetry and take it off the page into a performative space. I think it's about giving yourself to an audience or a reader in a way that poetry sometimes doesn't allow itself to do.
Hello, I'm Aisha.
And I'm Saili.
Today we're doing our first showing of a scratch piece of an original collaboration for Kiota.
Kiota collaboration.
So it's about cultural assimilation. We met together with Deepraj Singh, who is a dance artist. Saili does words, I do singing, and Deeps does dance. And we had a conversation about cultural assimilation and what it means to us.
You didn't know we were waving the flags, wearing our skins the way we had. Assimilate, suffer the fiction. You will wear it when you least expect to. After the first time you're told to go back to where you belong. Even when Britain is this for you, the wrong shades of home will be handed over on contact. It doesn't matter if it hurts to recite your heritage. That gesture of glass syllables you're learning to love. Show up, and you are sure to be counted. All of you who counted as everything more than skin and stencil, stand still and be counted.
How do you feel actually doing that? Because in the original piece, you both came out your comfort zone for it. For you, Aisha, it was movement. For you, Saili, it was voice, singing, in terms of your comfort zone, but how does it feel actually performing that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very emotive piece. Like, it started from conversations about our experience of assimilation and how you kind of lose a sense of where you are in all of it, because the assimilation is something that's kind of, the culture that you're assimilated into kind of absorbs you in a way, and then you kind of find it difficult to figure out which bits are you and which bits are things that have been put on you. So yeah, it's quite emotive. And I was feeling quite shaky.
Wow. And the thing is, Saili, you've been on a journey of your own, not just artistically, but geographically and culturally, because you've come from Zambia, and you went to, when you were 13, you ended up in Bath. Couldn't be more culturally different. I would imagine. And then, you're here in Bristol. So again, that word, that term, I'm curious about what that actually means for you, because you're both living it, but you've lived it in a different way.
So while we were creating this piece, we had a conversation, Deeps, Aisha, and myself. And although the very, very different cultures going from Zambia to Bath, but it was great to hear how there were mutual experiences between all three of us. And a piece like this, although it was scary, it felt great to be able to, in some way, articulate something we all three of us shared, and using a piece of each of our artistic languages.
Do you plan to continue with this collaboration? No pressure.
This is like first date.
I would like to do this again.
Hi, my name's Deborah Antoinette. I am a storyteller, a clown workshop facilitator, and I create strange feminist comedy. I'm here at Kiota II in order to share a story from the ancient Sumerian culture about a goddess who ruled heaven and earth, and she stole some powers from the god of wisdom.
Huge red mass with cracks and only one great river that ran through it. A huge azure stream rushing, and next to it just one sapling. And across the earth stood the beautiful Inanna. Her body was voluptuous. Her thighs were thick, her breasts were full of life, and there was nothing but her skin on her body.
The story's from the ancient Middle East, one of the most, it's possibly one of the oldest stories ever found. Lots of people know Gilgamesh, but this is his sister, the lesser known goddess. So excited about that.
And she looked across the land and she saw the most beautiful thing so far, a woman looking at a man. And they leant in to kiss one another. And then the woman generously held out her hand towards his cheek, and he just I won't even be able to procreate!
Storytelling, why that format and form for you? What does it allow you to do artistically?
I love it because it's improvisational, so you work with a structure, and also because so many stories have been written over such a long period of time, being told, and this idea that the characters become more and more real every time we tell them, and every time a whole room of us imagine them together, we're conjuring them, I think. And so I think it's fun to write new stories, and really important as well. I just really love the depth of the symbolism that's in old stories. These are characters that maybe it's part of us, the courage, or the part of us that worries and all of that.
And also, just finally, you know, you're also looking at, you know, the oral tradition. I mean, my background, you know, is Jamaican. And so I was wondering how your cultural background informs your art.
So my mum is Eastern European Jewish blood, born in South Africa, and I am yet to explore South African stories, but I'm sure growing up and her family and their Jewish way of expressing themselves probably influences me. And then my dad's Anglo-Indian, so again, a very expressive culture. And I have looked into Indian stories and I find them incredible. And I think perhaps coming from like an already global family, I feel excited by the stories from many cultures, and I feel like you get a taste of the way of being of those places and people.
You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air, I rise.
Most of us have seen productions here, but this is the first time we've performed here, so it's really exciting.
Yeah. It's because of what Kiota stands for, being a space, a forum for people of colour to perform. You know, every audiences from all sorts of backgrounds can attend, but the platform being created for people of colour was, you know, a tick box for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Growing up, I was fed up of hearing, "You don't look like your family." Don't you think I don't know that? Don't you think I don't see my family is white and I am black?
People used to say that being lesbian, gay, or anything but straight was a white thing, or an English thing. But I caught them out on that one.
Don't you think I don't feel it in every inch of my body that I was taking away from everything that I was familiar with and taking away millions of miles away into a foreign land?
We've all written parts of our own stories, so everything that you see has been written by us, the company ourselves. So we're telling snippets of our lives. Yeah.
I'm a sprite, and I am dancing in the starlight.
The fabric of my life is full of colors.
I didn't sort of want an apology. I wanted an apology, Steve.
The mask of my life.
The joy you see when I dance.
I'm thinking of those brave black women.
So,
Valerie, Yoma,
Lorna, Ruth,
Rachel.
Bristol.
Now, as I said before the performance, you're all artists in your own right, and yet you found each other. How did that happen? And was there a main sort of instigator?
You just know, don't you, when people laugh and stuff. Okay. You go for it.
Okay, so we actually saw a show at the Bristol Ovic with two black men. Some people might know Edson Burton and Miles Chambers. And we were all at the show actually. We thought, four of us. Four of them? 74 of us? Oh God. Oh, no. So after the show we thought, why are we listening to the stories of black men? We haven't got the stories of black women. So we said for a joke, we could do something like that. I don't think we really believed it was going to happen. And actually, the old bit were very good. They said, yeah, and they, you know, give you the space and and we're like, okay.
Just do it.
Just do it. That's what this. So anyway, I'll pass it over to you. Next thing. Okay.
And then, so there we were in our first meeting with blank sheet of paper, thinking, oh, what have we got? And we just had this amazing process of talking and listening and exploring, and it came into the show. So yeah.
You make that sound so easy. Come on.
That was a fantastic show tonight. It's fantastic. I didn't manage to get to Kiota I, so I'm really pleased to get here tonight.
I've had a fantastic time watching all the performances today. They were very funny, some were very emotive, brought up some emotions for me.
So I was very happy to see the Black Woman Let Loose performance. I found it very emotional, and I think that we have to get inspired in France to deal with diversity. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just such a good idea and so well done.
Seeing Black women on the loose, I know all those performers and I know them individually, but seeing them performing together brought something else, and I thought that is absolutely fantastic. I mean, the whole show from beginning to end really, with Deborah's performance at the very beginning, that incredible storytelling just really took me on a journey. You know, I was tired before I came in here, but now I've got more energy now I'm leaving than when I arrived.